I write because I have to. I think it's my therapy. It feeds my soul. I think I would be writing whether anyone read what I wrote or not.
Colleen Hoover, once the queen of book talk, who had the whole internet in a chokehold for a while, seems to have fallen from a pedestal. Today, I'd like to explore who Colleen Hoover is, her journey to immense success, and how she captured the hearts of readers worldwide. Additionally, we'll delve into the criticism she receives, questioning whether it's merely a trendy backlash or if there are valid concerns about her writing. Despite not seeking fame, her love for writing helped fame find her, dominating success on the New York Times bestsellers list and impressive book sales. She even outpaced the Bible by selling more than 60 million copies worldwide. However, the rise of negative content on platforms like YouTube and TikTok raises questions about the sudden wave of criticism.
Chapter 35. Conrad. I would rather have someone shoot me in the head with a nail gun.
So in 2012, Colleen self-published her first book, Slammed. In multiple interviews, she says that she wrote it just for fun, then basically put it on Amazon releases so that her grandma, of all people, could download and read it. Which is weird, considering the plot is a romance between a high school student and her teacher. 4 months later, Slammed hit the New York Times bestseller list of a self-published novel. Colleen has had unbelievable success since then, going from a self-publisher to selling millions of copies. As of October 2022, Hoover has sold approximately 20 million books. She has been named one of the 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine in 2023. So, let's talk marketing. Colleen Hoover knows her stuff. If you haven't noticed her yet, just check out any supermarket, bookstore, or Amazon list. She's everywhere. In this video, I'll break down 3 reasons why Colleen Hoover is seen as the best in the book marketing business. Number 1. Connecting with readers. Colleen understands the importance of having a strong and engaged fan base. She's always active on social media, chatting with her audience. Number 2. Smart book launch strategies. Colleen has the knack for creating a buzz around her book launches. She shares sneak peeks, teasing excerpts, and runs interactive countdowns on social media. By involving her readers in the launch process, she builds excitement and a feeling of exclusivity. Number 3. Innovative campaigns. She's nailed unique campaigns that grab a ton of attention, whether it's fun contests, live Q&A sessions, or teaming up with charities. She knows how to engage her audience and promote her work in creative ways.
She also hosts her annual Book Bonanza charity event in her home state of Texas.
Book Bonanza is wild.
It's so wild.
How can you explain it to somebody that's never been here before?
Comic-Con, Disney World. The lines were insane this morning.
Thousands of readers from all over the country come to meet more than 200 authors at the sold-out event. Hoover started the nonprofit back in 2018. It has since raised more than $1 million for different charities.
So the question remains, how did Colleen Hoover become so loved by readers worldwide? Colleen says it's a mix of luck, good timing, and word of mouth. Personally, I think it's because her books are what people like. I mean, they've got everything: romance, intense scenes, surprising twists, and importantly, tough experiences. Colleen often uses trauma in her stories. We're drawn to the idea that tough experiences make a person more interesting, just like in real life. But when all a character has is their tough times, it might mean there's something missing in the writing. Criticism towards Colleen Hoover and similar writers isn't new. It has persisted for years. With increased success, visibility on platforms like TikTok, and more attention in bookstores, diverse opinions are inevitable. A common critique is that Hoover romanticizes toxic relationships. More notably in her book, It Ends With Us, where concerns about romanticizing abuse have been raised. Personally, I believe Hoover was clear about her stance on domestic violence, as evident in the author's note at the end of the book, where she shared a personal connection to the story.
Her most popular novel, It Ends With Us, centers on domestic violence and is loosely based on her mother's life.
My mother and father divorced when I was 2, and one of my earliest memories was him throwing a TV at her. She was able to get out of that relationship. And then from then on, I just remember growing up with a mother who was so strong and independent.
It's a book that people really care about.
Yeah.
I think people that maybe have been in hard situations feel seen.
It's been very heartwarming to read how my mother's story has actually given strength to other women to be able to leave their situations.
While some debate Team Atlas or Team Ryle, the controversy extends to a coloring book scandal linked to It Ends With Us, causing backlash. Colleen Hoover acknowledged the misstep on Instagram, admitting that it was not appropriate to capitalize on a story about domestic violence for profit. People often say that Colleen Hoover's characters have a lot of problems, and that I agree. Her characters usually have a bunch of emotional baggage, and it seems like the main thing that defines them is the tough stuff they've been through. Some folks think Colleen uses these tough experiences to make readers feel a lot, like she wants a strong reaction. Some even say she does it on purpose because she knows it gets a specific response from readers. Another huge piece of criticism is incorrect marketing of her books. Her books are being sold as romance genre books for young adults, though they clearly contain a lot more than just that. So I went into her book Slammed, expecting this nice story, only to be met with a heavy story about loss and a relationship between a high school student and her teacher. Lack of diversity in her books is on another level. Let's be honest, she's a white woman writing about white romances for white women. All her books have a pushover female lead who probably ends up pregnant or with a kid, and a male lead who's the definition of red flags and toxic masculinity. There's not a single queer person or a person of color in her books, unless once in a while, in which case they're very, very stereotypical. I'll briefly touch on the essay allegation scandal that seems to follow Colleen everywhere. Simply put, her son allegedly essayed a 16-year-old girl, who then contacted Colleen for help, but she was blocked. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't get the most reliable source of information or quote-unquote proof on this. While I always stand with the victim no matter what, you have to be honest and admit that Colleen Hoover is a big name, and the probability of someone starting rumors about her is high. Regardless of all that, I still think Colleen should have reacted better to the girl reaching out. What do you think? We're not sure if Colleen is a good writer or not, but we all agree she's great at marketing. I think all the talk, whether good or bad, has actually helped her sell more books. Colleen Hoover shows that any kind of attention, even if it's not all positive, can still be a good thing. Remember to subscribe for more book-related content. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts on the Colleen Hoover controversy.